Hello everyone, it's Jessica and I'm back with another layout for the ThermOWeb design team. And today I'm focusing on Unity products and the new release for Celebration Week and the new release with the Unity adhesive transfers, which was last week. So I am actually incorporating a recent collaboration with PhotoPlay Paper, and I'm using one of their collections called Camping with My Gnomies, which is super cute. And I just love this collection. It's so adorable with all these little camping gnomes. So I want to use a couple of these papers. So I've cut out the back square of this one because I just want to use the border. So I don't want to waste all that, and I want to map my photo with it. So I'm just using my tape runner to map my photo. And I first met it with some smooth white cardstock, and then as you saw, a piece of that patterned paper. So then I've just distressed the edges, and my photo is going to be about right there somewhere. I wanted to keep it a little bit off center, a little bit kind of slanted, because straight things and perfect layouts are just not my particular style. So I just kind of wanted a little bit of unorganization to this. So I pulled out some of my stamps from Unity, pulled out the All About Today stamp, which is what I'm going to be mainly using, and then I'm going to incorporate another one called Coffee Components a little bit later. But I just pulled out some black archival ink and some distress ink colors, and I'm just kind of stamping around the page just to add some dimension to my background. So I'm just going to do some grungy stamping. You know that that's my particular style. I usually add a little bit of grunge to all of my layouts, so this one is no exception at all. And I am sticking with my normal style and adding some grunge with a lot of stamping. So I love this little stamp set. It has some months on it, some days of the week and the days. It's super cute. It'd be good for a planner. It would be good for any scrapbook layout. It would also work for cards, pretty much anything that you have that you could work this in with. You could do this with a birthday layout as well, and kind of circle the date with the stamps and just kind of stamp the date in there. There's a lot of different options for this stamp set, and I really like it. I can't wait to use it for some other things. So just kind of finishing up my stamping a little bit here. I'm going to pull out some more here in a moment, but I'm going to work with these adhesive transfers. Now, these are the new ones by Unity, and I have chosen this one that says amazing and dang and celebrate. Those are the three that I'm going to use because I am celebrating this photo of my son catching this giant trout. So it was a pretty celebratory moment for us, and it was pretty exciting, and he was just having the time of his life fishing whenever we were camping. So I'm going to highlight these. I'm going to just use them kind of like a rub-on to just add some pressure to make sure that those transfer right directly to my background paper. And then I'm just pulling out some of the deep blue Deco foil transfer sheets, and I'm going to cut them down to size and just place those right on top. And then I'm going to actually pull out my craft and carrier sheets as well. And I'm heating my laminator up right now. And while that's heating up, I'm just placing these foils over top of my transfers and then sticking the foil down to it. And then I'm going to use these craft and carrier sheets that came out in a recent release, and I'm just going to use 2 of them. So instead of using my clear laminator sheet, I'm just going to use 2 of these to cover my layout completely. That way I don't get any of the stamping runoff onto my clear laminator sheet. I'll keep that nice and clean, and then I can use these instead, which they worked perfectly. As you can see, they come out absolutely stunning. I love the effect that it adds to layouts because it just gives you a little bit of shimmer and sparkle, and it's just beautiful. So here is the other stamp set that I have by Unity. This one's called Coffee Components, and I'm just going to do some more grungy stamping with some different colors and distress inks just to add a little bit more dimension and texture to this. As you know, that's my particular style. That's my thing. So I just love it. I love to layer stamps and add them in different colors and kind of just make your background pop and make the photo the center point of all of your background stamping. I love the effect that it adds. So it's just perfect for this layout. And then here I'm just adding a little bit of, they look like little coffee splats. So I love those. I'm gonna add a little bit of those in. And then I think that might be, oh, nope, I thought I was done stamping, but nope. I'm gonna pull out this one by PhotoPlay. This one is a super cute stamp set by PhotoPlay. This one's called Really Great Guy, and it also has a coordinating die set that goes with it too. If you wanted to just like stamp them on cardstock and cut them out and color them or anything like that, you could totally do that. But for this, I just wanted some of the little fishies and one of these, a couple of these little lures stamped just throughout my layout, just to add a couple little extra things here. So super cute stamp set. Love this one. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of use out of that one as well. And that one's by PhotoPlay. And I am just going to continue with this. I'm going to use some of this easy tear tape on the back of my photo. I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down because I know that's where I want it to go. It's not going to move around. I may do some layering around the photo and things, but I think mostly I'm going to add things on top of it. So here I'm just distressing the edge of my background paper just to give that some dimension. And then more of the easy tear tape is going to go on here just to adhere that down to the frame around the back or border, whatever you want to call that. So I'm just putting that down, and I've sped this up and cut a little bit of that out so you don't have to watch that whole process because you guys know how to do that. It's just, you just put your tape down. The easy tear tape has, it's kind of like double-sided, so you just put it down, tear it, and then peel up the paper, and then there's your tape. And it's super, super sticky. I cannot stress that enough. So basically, if you use it and you put it down, it is not going anywhere. So you'll see me kind of struggle with peeling up a corner of my layout of my photo here in a moment because I actually decide to add some layers behind it, and it does rip my paper because it's so sticky, but it's fine. It's behind the photo, so it's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't damage the layout at all. And this, I cut out a little gnome that was on one of the pocket cards in the PhotoPlay collection. And then I've also cut out the Gone Fishing and kind of made that a little, little tag or little label at the top of my photo there. I just did some doodling around it. And then here I am just pulling out some Ellie's stamps and dies for my letters. I'm going to make my title say Big Ol' Fish. And I wish I had a little apostrophe to put over the ol part, but I don't have an apostrophe, so I'm just going to leave it out. So grammar police, please don't get after me. I'm just leaving it as is without. So here I am going to actually make some flock letters, and I'm going to stamp on top of the flock. If you haven't seen me do this before, it's one of my favorite things to do. I use this with the adhesive sheets, the foam adhesive sheets, and cut them out with the die, and then I transfer that on top of the flock. You peel them off, and then there you go. You have fuzzy flocked letters, and they are just so cute and pretty and fuzzy. I just absolutely love them. And then I use black archival ink here to stamp on top of that flock just to make it pop. And I do use the archival ink because I don't want it to kind of fade or smudge or anything, and I find the archival or stays on ink works best for that. And I did actually try it on and off my foam mat too, because I thought, well, maybe it would be a little bit better off of the foam because they're already kind of dimensional and fuzzy, so maybe it would work better to apply more pressure on top of just my glass mat. And it actually did work a little bit better just on top of the glass mat without the foam. So you'll see me switch over to that here in just a moment. So here it becomes just a little bit more crisp, and just it's a little bit easier to work with it and push it down whenever it wasn't on that foam. So just a little tip if you're using that with the adhesive sheets. And then here's my little gnome. I'm going to tuck him back in there, and I'm going to curve my title right around there. And then I'm just going to pop my little gnome up with some of the foam tape roll. I was originally going to use little squares, but it just didn't make sense to me to use a whole bunch of those little squares when I have that giant tape roll. So I just used the big one. And then I love this little sticker, little fishing gnome, and I pop him right there, but I end up moving him over a little bit in the end because I do add some layering behind my photo. That's where I rip my paper. I love the little fish flag. I'm going to put that up top in that corner. And I love to recycle things, so I'm actually taking the paper that comes in the pack, the collection that shows you what's in it, and I'm just going to cut apart the little pieces that shows you what patterns are in there, and I'm going to use those to cut out little tags with my die cut. So it works out perfect, and I can recycle a piece of that. And here is where I rip my layout behind my photo whenever I add these tags down right here. And as you can see, that easy tear tape is not going anywhere. And I actually couldn't get it all peeled up where I wanted, so I just cut that tag down and faked it like it was the whole big tag, and you can't even tell. So you guys are the only ones that are going to know that. And then I just used some of my tape runner to stick that back down, and it works fine. And I end up cutting those down a little bit, the strings, because I felt like they were taking away from all the stamping behind it, so I ended up trimming them off. And then here is my other little label for the top, so I'm going to add that back right on there. I love the way that looks at the top of my photo, just on the right and with those tags. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick my title down. And there's not too much to this. This is a pretty easy layout. If you guys have any questions for me or anything, just let me know. I'll link all the products below that I use. That way you know exactly what I used in this layout and on it. And yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. So here I'm just finishing sticking down all of those letters. I'm going to add my date stamp at the bottom. And here I'm just going to move that gnome over just a little bit, just to give it some uniformity in the layout. And here is the finished product. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you can stop back for more. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.